Let's do a comparison between Beurax and Cryptoware. Beurax and Cryptoware are both high yield, high risk, daily return programs that are promising to take your crypto, invest it for you, and give you these ridiculously high returns. And I have friends that are earning between 3 and 4 ETH a day. Someone else reporting to me and showing me that he's earning 12,000 a week. For those of you who follow fiat better, I mean, these are really high numbers. And I know lots of people that have confirmed and showed me with both these programs that they're making a lot of Ethereum, and I'm making a lot of Ethereum. But make no mistake about it, both Beaurax and Cryptoware are high risk programs, meaning you could lose everything you put into it. It's just the way it is when you're looking at passive returns like this. Most of these organizations in the past, programs like this, completely went out of business and just totally collapsed when the bull market went into a bear market. Bull markets when things are going up consistently, technical analysis charts confirm it, going up, 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 up. Exciting times, everything's going up, Bitcoin's going up, Ethereum's going up, altcoins going up. When they start going down into the bear market, that's when they all collapsed. And it's because they can't maintain themselves. And oftentimes they're not even actually trading on your behalf, or they're not doing it consistently. We have no way to confirm it. So I don't analyze this from that perspective. I don't spend a lot of time looking at things that I can't confirm easily. What I look at are the results people are getting, and I understand the risk. And I never market these to anybody who's not already in them. If you're already doing a high return type program and you're already taking that risk, the value I provide to you is I'll show you what I'm doing. I'll show you the strategies I'm using, but I'm not encouraging you to do this if you're not already doing them or already have decided to do them, because I don't want to take that responsibility. I want you to take that responsibility. I love these things. I understand the risk. I understand I can lose everything in here. I'm getting over an Ethereum a day. And this one here, Cryptoware, I'm getting about 0.13 or something like that a day. In Beaurax, I'm going to talk about these two programs. Some quick things. Beaurax has a stronger, more robust compensation plan, paying 15 levels. Cryptoware only pays the front level. Beaurax pays 1.4% on a 20-day contract. That means you have to hold your money in there for 20 days before you can take it out. But on the 20-day contract, you can take what you're earning every day, that 1.4%. You can take that 1.4% out every day if you want to. Cryptoware has a big advantage. It's 3.6% per day, and you don't have to hold it in a contract. So you're getting 3.6% per day, and you can take the principal out after 24 hours. You can take it out whenever you want. So that's pretty powerful, but I want to talk about that for a minute because that's maybe one of the biggest distinguishing differences. That and Cryptoware lets you use Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, Dash, Dodge. So you can be growing any of these: USDT, XRP, which is Ripple, ZEC, and I think there's some other ones as well. Dogecoin, I believe, is another one. TRX, Tron, XLM. So, which is Stellar. So you can be growing any and all of these coins, and you don't have as much of that option in Beaurax. But let's talk about the fact, I think a lot of people are excited about the fact that Cryptoware, first of all, pays 3.6% per day. That basically doubles whatever you put in it in 28 days. So in other words, if you put, like I know somebody who went kind of modest, they put 3 Ethereum in Cryptoware, and they just started taking their returns out every day. Now, they could have taken their principal out anytime they wanted, but they wanted to keep earning every day. So in 28 days, they got their 3 Ethereum out. And then they still have the returns coming in every day. And then after he got his Ethereum out, then one day he takes it, the next day he reinvests it. One day he takes it, the next day he reinvests it. So it's growing, 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 and he's still taking it out. So he's way beyond, getting his 3 Ethereum back, and it's still growing, and he's still taking it out because now he's alternating every day. That's kind of a conservative strategy that people are using to grow all these different types of coins, doubling their coin, whatever coin they want to double, Dash, Litecoin, Tron, Ripple, doubling ETH, doubling whatever they want to double within 28 days. And then from that point forward, now that they're playing with house money, so to speak, they're alternating, reinvest, take some out, reinvest, take some out every other day. So it's growing in returns and they're still taking it out. And there's no risk anymore for them as long as you're able to get your principal out. That's a strategy that's working. Again, there's no guarantee that you're going to get your principal out. That's just what's worked so far. As I've said, these are high risk. You're risking your principal. Whenever you're doing passive programs, that's the case. That's also the case with Beaurax. Any program that's taking your crypto or your money, promising to invest it for you, you could lose it all. You shouldn't be in the game if you don't understand that, or if you can't handle that or take responsibility for if that happens. And that's why I don't market this to anybody who's not already in them and understanding that, or already seen enough videos. They know they're joining. They come across mine. They want my help. They want my strategies. They like the candidness. And then they can join at my link, but that's because you're already joining, not because from what you've seen from me. So yeah, I'm making a lot of ETH from these. This is just one of the ways I make ETH. Again, I'll do more comparison and contrast. I specifically want to talk more about, the contracts not being required in Cryptoware, where you can take your principal out whenever you want. You don't have to hold it in there for 20 days or 45 days or 90 days versus Beaurax you do. I want to talk more about that in a minute because you might be surprised what I have to say about that. It's not as obvious as you think, which is the advantage. So we're going to talk about that. But before I do, I want to say these are high risk programs. Yes, I'm generating a lot of ETH with them, and I'll show you my strategies to maximize and minimize risk, maximize returns. I can show you what I do for marketing to only market these to people that are already in them, doing them, understand the risk, if you want to be able to get referral commissions as well. But I also want to emphasize that most of the Ethereum that I make is with no risk. It's not with these programs. It's with a no risk program where I'm not risking my capital. And if you're interested in that, reach out to me on my Facebook Messenger. You'll see a link below this video and just let me know, hey, I want to know how you're making so much ETH the no risk way. Because I've made over 850 ETH in the last 3.5 months without risking any of it. And I'm taking a percentage of that and putting it into these high risk programs, making even more ETH. But I'm able to do that without really feeling like I'm risking much because it's all massive ETH I've recently earned with a no risk method. Reach out to me if you want to know about the no risk method. But these are awesome. It's not passive. The other method is not passive. These are 100% passive, meaning you just put it in there and they're supposedly trading for you and paying these high returns. That's what Beaurax and Cryptoware is all about. So let's look at the difference. I think the biggest difference to people, which is in Cryptoware, you do not need to have it in a 20-day contract, or you do not need to have it in a 90-day contract, which you do in Beaurax. In Beaurax, like for example, to get 4.2% per day, you got to be in like a 200-day contract. That doesn't even count weekends. So it's like way more than 200 days. And I did do one just to see if they're still here chugging along and that 200-day contract comes to fruition. I will have turned 6 Ethereum into over 50 Ethereum. We'll see. Most people do the 20-day contracts. That's 1.4% per day in Beaurax, but you got to still tie your principal up, what you put in there, for 20 days plus weekends, so a little bit more than 20 days. In Cryptoware, you might think it's a big advantage because you're getting a really high rate, 3.6% per day, like I said before, but you're not having to tie it up in there. You do need to hold it for 24 hours, but once it's in there for 24 hours, you can take it out whenever you want. Now, that is an advantage in many ways, for sure. But I want you to see some of the other side of it. What Beaurax is doing is they're making their model more stable. Like, let's say there's some FOMO, some fear in the market. Let's say the market takes a big hit. It's maybe not a bear market yet, but people may be thinking it is. It starts going down. And let's say people run on Beaurax and start taking their money out. By having the inability for people to take it all out, it makes their model more stable because people can't take it all out, all the principal out. They got to wait for the contract. And let's say it isn't a bear market yet, and the market just went down a little bit. And now it's rebounding, and people go, oh, I've been making this ETH every day because it's in the contract. I think I'm just going to leave it in. And now their model is strong and going and everything's good. Cryptoware, let's say there's some FOMO in the market. Everybody is like scared. They think the market's crashing. They want to get their crypto out and sell it or whatever. And everyone runs on it, and they can take it out because there is no holding time, no contracts. And so that could really hurt their model and make it unstable and cause them to maybe not be able to sustain these returns. So there's these different things to think about. And that's why I diversify into a couple of these different programs. And I've got really solid strategies that I use that I can share with you. If you sign up into any of my programs, I share all those strategies with you. They're really rock solid to be able to just to maximize what you can get out of this, eyes wide open, understanding the risks. Again, I'm not promoting this to anybody who's not already in them, who understands the risk. Maybe you're in Beaurax, you want to look at Cryptoware or vice versa, or you've been in them before, you already knew you were joining one of these from other videos you've watched, you stumble across mine, you like the candidness, you end up joining with me so you can learn these strategies. That's who I'm talking to. So some other differences, let's go ahead and start with Beaurax, and then I'll go back over to Cryptoware. So I'm going to log in here, and I'm making some pretty good ETH with this one. And then, you do want to get the reinvestment going. So, you want to get your principal out as soon as you can, but to make any kind of serious ETH, when you first start making returns, most people are reinvesting what they're earning back in. And so you'll see, like if I go to my deposits, you'll see, and again, I have another non-risk method I'm using to generate a lot of ETH. Again, reach out to me if you want to learn about the non-risk method. It's not passive, but it is high leverage. And I made over 850 ETH in 3.5 months with that one. I've taken a percentage of that. I put that into here, but I'm also taking the returns that I'm getting from this. So these are my deposits, right? And it's showing the investment amount. I've got 17 active deposits. And I just joined recently. I just joined not that long ago. The first deposit was 3 ETH on, I think, February 3rd. Is that right? Looks like February 3rd. And today is February 18th. So, not in a long time, and yet, producing very, very well. Now, this one, I did what's called a total return swap. That's the 20-day one. And so I put in 3 ETH. So far, I've gotten 0.462 ETH back on that. And it's got 9 days to go before I get my principal back. Remember, in Cryptoware, I can take my principal out whenever I want. And this one, I need to wait a total of 20 days plus weekends. I got 9 days left, and then I'll get my 3 ETH back, in which I'll probably just reinvest it back in here, take a percentage of it and put it in Cryptoware for the 3.6%, and then take a percentage of it and put it back in here. But again, some of you are going to want to take it and, get it back. I'm going to take a little bit more risk than I would, recommend anybody else to do, but I'm going to put more in. I have a target for what I want to get per day. Right now, I'm a little bit over an ETH per day between these two. My target's 2 ETH per day between these two programs. So, you got to decide what your target is, what you want to make per day. And then from there, you get your principal back once you hit that target. But until you hit that target, you can reinvest this to get it, really adding up. Now, I did a commodity swap. Let's talk about this on the 3rd as well. This is the one I was mentioning earlier, where it's almost 6 ETH that I put in on the 3rd of February as well, a couple weeks back. And I've already made 2.75 ETH on that one. Why so much more? Because this is the 200-day contract, not counting weekends. So, I don't get in on this one, I don't get my daily returns back until the end of the contract. So this is all just storing up in there, and I'll get this over 50 ETH. This 6 ETH will turn into over 50 ETH. I can't remember the exact number, 50 some ETH after this 200-day contract has expired. That's when I'll get it back. But until then, I'm just risking all this. So if this thing doesn't survive that long, I'm not going to get that back. It's really important to understand that. Now, in the total return swap, which is only a 20-day contract, I'm only getting 1.4%, so a lot less than this other one per day. I do get to keep what I earn each day in that one. And I only have to wait 20 days, not counting weekends, 9 days left on this one before I get my principal back. Again, very different than Cryptoware, where I'm getting 3.6%, really high, not far from that 4.2%, and I don't have to wait. You wait once you have it in there 24 hours, you can take it out whenever you want. And so, that's pretty cool. Again, both of these extremely high risk. Any program where you're giving your crypto or you're giving your money or your funds for them to trade on your behalf, whether they are or aren't, and it's never possible to fully know, regardless of whether they are or aren't, very difficult models for them to sustain long term, especially if the market starts to dive and everybody wants to take their funds out. Very difficult for them to manage that. But when they're working, when they're paying, like both of these are at the time of this recording, pretty phenomenal way to make a lot of passive ETH. You can see all these deposits that I've made, depending on which one I got. Some of them were 20 days, some of them I did a 30-day, and you see these when you go into make a deposit. Here's total return swaps, and you can see, and this is in Beaurax, you can see this one takes USD, this one takes, it's a USD, this one takes BTC, You know, you can use BTC, USD, or ETH. Most of mine are ETH. I did do some BTC and a little bit of USD, but most of mine are ETH in Beurax, but not as many options. So again, another difference between Cryptoware I mentioned earlier and Beurax is this one here in, and if I log in, you're going to see me even easier. So let's go take a look real quick. Here, you got a lot more options with the coins. And in this one, since you're getting 3.6 per day, you would double whatever you put in there. So if you got some old coins laying around, you got some old Dodge coin that you don't really think about, or a little bit of Ripple laying around, or you know, Tether or Dash or Zcash or Stellar or Tron or any of these Litecoin laying around, and you don't really count on them, you could throw those in here and not consider that as high of a risk because you're not counting on those, and double them in 28 days. Then take out, you know, every day, take it out till you've gotten back what you put in, and then let it keep on ticking, keep on paying you every day. It's a great, you know, possible strategy. That's one major difference. You know, Cryptoware just has ETH, USD, and Bitcoin as the options. Most people stick around here in the total return swaps because they don't want to tie their principal up for too long. Remember, Cryptoware, you're not tying it up, but here you are for either 20 days. There's another one for 30 days. You get paid a little bit more. See, it says 1.4% here per day. This one's 1.5% per day if you're willing to leave it in there an extra 10 days plus a few extra weekends. And they all have different minimums. And, you know, this one's 0.1 ETH. That's another difference between Cryptoware and Beaurax. Here, the minimum's 0.1 ETH. In Cryptoware, it's 0.02 ETH. So 5 times less minimum, which is pretty, you know, it makes it more accessible to people. And at 3.6%, that's pretty amazing, actually. But again, both of these are very risky. You have to understand that. You can lose everything you put in here. You shouldn't be doing them upon me sharing this. Either you're already in one and you already get the risk, and you know, then I welcome you in, or you know, if you've been in them before and you were already going to join one of these, that's who I'm talking to. Okay, so 1.6% down here, but of course, then it's a 20 ETH minimum. You know, a friend of mine put in, I believe, 45 ETH, made 28 ETH profit on this one. So, you know, I've seen a lot of people pretty long term running with these and doing extraordinarily well with them. And that's why I jumped in, and I'm also able to withdraw and do everything that I need and want to do. Works really, really well. In fact, if we go back to, let's go to financial operation, withdraw history. I don't think I showed you this yet. In Beaurax, you can see all my withdrawals. If we start on the first page, you know, and I just started earlier this month, but you're seeing like a 0.3179 withdrawal on the 9th of February, 0.135. This is ETH on the 9th, also almost 0.1 on the 9th, 0.031 on the 10th, 0.12 on the 10th. Like, you're seeing some pretty good withdrawals consistently. If you look at the dates, you'll see a lot of these are on the same day. Here I did a $2,000 withdrawal in USD. You know, sometimes you're working with USD. If I look at the next page, 0.53 ETH withdrawal on Valentine's Day on the 14th. You know, and if you look close, 0.76 here on the 17th, you know, some sizable withdrawals that I'm doing. And I've been taking a percentage of that and putting it into Cryptoware because I wanted that 3.6%. But I also took a lot of this and reinvested it. I've also taken what I was earning in that other method I told you about that you can ask me about. Again, don't ask me, if you're on YouTube, don't ask me here. Click the link in my description that takes you to my Facebook Messenger. Ask me there about my non-risk method that I've used to generate a lot of ETH, because I'm using a percentage of that to put into these, and you can duplicate that same thing. The other one, it's not passive. We're making a lot of ETH, and we got a really duplicatable system that's working really, really well. Over 850 ETH in that in 3.5 months, and the team that's duplicating it is doing phenomenally well. So ask me about that. Click on my Facebook Messenger link. But yeah, so, you know, obviously this is working very, very well. So Beaurax, top things, it's been around a while, you know, and I think for about 5 or 6 months now, and a lot of people confirming the same thing I am here. Withdrawals are working, everything's working, but, you know, compared to Cryptoware, some key differences, right? Cryptoware, you're getting to work with all of these different coins. Cryptoware paying 3.6% per day, which is substantially higher than a lot of those other options that you can do in Beaurax. And you don't need to hold it in a contract in Cryptoware. But the compensation plan in Beaurax is much more robust. Also, they've invested a lot more into things like these videos. Now, it may not impress you, but I'll talk about why that is a factor in your consideration. So they put in not just this one, but there are many videos they've continued to develop in Beaurax that, you know, teach on all these different topics. The reason why that's important, and you won't see that in Cryptoware, the reason why that's important is it suggests that they've invested a lot more into the infrastructure, which suggests they may be willing to weather any storms. Let's say there's a dip in the market, people run on Beurax. It suggests when they've made, you see that they've made these kinds of investments, like in those training and marketing videos, which are rather extensive, that they're planning to go the test of time. That's all. It's not a guarantee of anything, but it just kind of shows where their intentions are and that they got the financial resources to perhaps weather some storms. Some other distinctions, again, I wanted to really focus on is the compensation plan. In the compensation plan, Cryptoware, that's not where their strength is. They're taking their resources and paying much higher returns. On those daily returns. Here in their compensation plan, they're paying, let me see if I can find it quickly enough. Is this where it is? It's really robust. I think I can find it up here. So just really, really fast. There's bonuses on top of this, but let's just focus on this. It pays 15 levels down. It's paying, you know, and you have these different qualifications. Once your group has done a certain amount of volume, you move up the ranks and get paid up to 12% of the investments that those you've referred on your front level make, starting out at 6% if you've referred nobody, second level 3% if you've referred nobody, 8% is the highest it pays, but all the way up to 15 levels. I know a lot of people making a lot of ETH every week because of this. Because it really can start to compound, because, you know, people start making ETH, they start telling people how they're making ETH, and you're getting a percentage of all of that. It really starts to add up. So this compensation plan is more robust, and this is only paying you one level, 7%. That's it. So not a lot of team building here or anything like that. But paying much higher returns in Cryptoware, not having to hold it in a contract. And you have all these other coins that if you got lying around, you could double them in 28 days, pull your principal out. As soon as you drop it in, you start pulling it out every day, 28 days, you've gotten it back, and then you just let it keep running, keep paying. You know, pretty powerful concept. My recommendation is that if you can build teams, if you're a strong referrer, you really lead and lean into Beaurax because of this compensation structure. And because they've invested so much into the training videos, the infrastructure, there's reason to believe they can weather the storm and any storms that come up in the market and really go the distance. But then put some of the earnings that you're getting from Beaurax into Cryptoware is a consideration to get those higher returns and diversify. But I wouldn't put all your eggs in either of these baskets. If I had to compare and contrast, I'd say Cryptoware is probably the higher risk, just because those higher returns, not having a contract. So if there was FOMO in the market and everyone ran to take it out, that could really make their model unstable. But as long as we're in a solid bull market, I think we're good. Now I will log in here and I'll show you around. I'll show you my withdrawals. I'll show you some stuff in here that's pretty cool. And I'll talk a little bit about why I think, at least at the time of this recording, February 18th, there's some indication that they're really in a strong position and they do plan to go the distance as well. But again, if you're able to build teams, Beaurax is probably the one to lead with. And even if you're not, I wouldn't put all your eggs in one basket. I would diversify between the two. Again, I'm not marketing these to anybody. I'm sharing with you what I'm doing. I let you join me if you want to continue to work with me and get my strategies. But I am marketing this to those who are already in and understand the risk. I'm not marketing these to anybody who doesn't understand the risk, who's not already in one of these programs or been in them before and already decided they're going to join from previous videos they watched, and they're just looking for somebody to join that can really help them and be candid about what's going on. So let's go ahead and log into the Cryptoware account, and I'll show you around in there because it is pretty cool, and I'm getting close to an ETH a day passive just in this program alone. So just logged into Cryptoware. Thought I would show you first where the withdrawals are. You know, everybody wants to see those withdrawals, right? Withdrawals are working. Now, I just want you to know I haven't done a lot of withdrawals or a lot of big withdrawals because I'm just testing basically, because I'm really reinvesting back in till I get to 28 ETH. Because once I'm at 28 ETH at 3.6% in Cryptoware per day, I will have made I'll be making an ETH a day, an Ethereum every day passive. You know what I mean? And so then I'll get the 28 ETH back, and then I'll just keep making that ETH afterwards after getting the principal back. So I did want to show you, though, the withdrawals work. You can verify on the blockchain. at any time. You just click here and it goes right to the blockchain, and it verifies those withdrawals. And I did do one for 0.369, so ETH. So I know that you get those. Now, these came very quickly, most of them within seconds, and you don't even pay for the gas, the transaction fee. They do, which is kind of amazing. Some of them, like the 2.369 one, took a couple hours, maybe about an hour. But then some of these happened right when these four right here, I did, or maybe it was these five, I did after Bitcoin and Ethereum shot up and gas prices were probably really high, and I didn't get them right away. They say it can take 24 to 48 hours. So don't panic if it takes 24 to 48 hours. Just know that if things are calm on the network, things aren't super busy, you do tend to get them pretty quick, especially the small ones you get immediately. And I even got to 2.369 ETH pretty fast within a couple hours. But then these I got, some of them took over 12 hours. But they did come through, and so far so good. Really works really well, with the withdrawals that I've done. So I'm now going to work. I'm not going to do any more withdrawals till I get to 28 ETH. I'm very close to that. I'm almost at 26 ETH now. I'll show you that in a minute, and I'll show you around here a little bit just as we complete the comparison between Cryptoware and Beaurax. So if we come out here on the main dashboard, you're going to see all these different options. It says Bitcoin wallet, ETH wallet. Right now, ETH wallet's highlighted because that's where I spend most of my time. But if I click Bitcoin wallet, then it opens up here, and you see I've got a little bit in there, not a lot, because this is commissions from that 7% commissions you get. Bitcoin Cash wallet, Litecoin wallet. I think I got a little bit of Litecoin commissions too, 0.01, not a lot. Dash wallet. Dash is valued at $309. Well, that went a lot up today. And I got 0.28 in there in active deposits and 0.04. That's accumulating. Again, I didn't even put this in there. This is just from the referrals. Dogecoin, nothing there. USDT, nothing there. XRP, Ripple, I got 712 in there. Again, I didn't put that in. That's just from commissions. ZEC, TRX, also same thing. 1,633 in there. And as soon as this hits 350, I'll just keep reinvesting it. Mostly I'm in the Ethereum wallet though. And again, if you have some old altcoins that aren't real important to you, that are collecting dust, might be a good way to double them, quadruple them. If it's not something that you're really thinking about, just as well, double them up in 28 days. Okay, so I've got 25.5 ETH in here that's working, right? And if I go to manage deposits, you're going to see all of those here. You can see that I've made 4.688 ETH, and I've only been in this thing a total of 10 days. So in the deposits been here for 10 days, already 4.688 ETH earned from the passive, not from referrals or anything. This is just from the passive. I didn't start with 25 ETH. That would be much more than that by now, because that's almost an ETH a day. I'm almost up to having an ETH a day. You can see I'm just kind of reinvesting and putting things back in here. And what's cool about this, so you see where it says release. Once you put something in here, if it's in there for 24 hours, then you can hit release and you can get it back. You don't have to wait 20 days, 90 days. There's no contract. Going back to the dashboard here. So my goal is to get this to 28 ETH. I'll be there any day. And then I'm getting an ETH a day. I'm going to go ahead and redeposit this. You can see this is 0.042. Like this is actually updated every hour. That's the other difference I didn't mention with Beaurax. This is updated every hour. So all of these deposits, I'm getting paid at every couple minutes, because each one of these, that was done, every hour they get updated with 0.15%. So you actually get to compound it much faster. So I'm constantly seeing this every few minutes, and I'm reinvesting it. And so I'll do it right now. I'll make a new deposit. And then you scroll down here. If it's coming from an external wallet, you leave it here on Ethereum directly. It means you're paying Ethereum directly from a wallet, but I'm going to pay it from my account. So I'm going to hit account balance, hit the drop down, see? I'm going to hit an account balance, and then I'm going to enter that amount. So it's 0.042 66265. Then you hit make deposit, and then you confirm. And so now it's going to say the deposit was successfully saved. I go back to dashboard, and it's actually it's already accumulated more just in the last second since I did that. It's got 0.0047 because it's constantly updating. But you can see that I just added that extra amount in here, 25.57. As soon as this gets to 28, I'm going to take 1 ETH out every day and send it to my wallet. And then after 28 days, I'll have my 28 ETH back, and then I just keep making an ETH a day after that without risk. And I might even do the strategy I was mentioning earlier, where after I've taken my 28 ETH out, 1 ETH a day, and which, by the way, follow this channel. I'll show you, doing that from time to time during those 28 days, and kind of check in with, show you where we're at. But once I have the 28 ETH out, then I will take an ETH out, and then I'll reinvest it the next day, and then take a little bit more than an ETH out, because at that point it will be growing, and then the next day reinvest it, and the next day. So I'm still taking more and more out, and it's still growing with that alternate day strategy. I'll say that again. So once you have a target amount, let's say it's 3 ETH, in my case it's 28 ETH. You put that in there, or you continue reinvesting until you build up to that target amount that's going to pay you passively what you want. And then you start taking the passive. In my case, I'm getting the 28 ETH, then I'll start taking the passive. And then when I have the 28 ETH back, then I alternate, and then it grows, and then it's all extra from there. So anyway, hopefully this was helpful for you. This is a comprehensive comparison between Beaurax and Cryptoware. I do not recommend one over the other, except to say I would lead, if I were you, I would lead with Beaurax, because even the contracts that it requires make it a more stable model. Sure, as an individual, I love having the control of taking out my principal whenever I want, where I can't do that on Beaurax. But at the same time, I understand, and I wanted to share with you that it actually makes Beaurax a more stable model by requiring those contracts. At the same time, as long as we're in I did want to share with you something that happened today that kind of indicates that, at least right now on February 18th, a good reason to believe that they're in a solid position and do Cryptoware and do plan to go the distance. Today was an extremely busy day, and last night, because Bitcoin and Ethereum shot up. They were having trouble covering gas fees, because they pay for those. When you withdraw, they pay the gas, you don't. And they try to keep those gas prices low. And so a lot of people who are used to getting their withdrawals within seconds with this thing were having to wait like 12 hours. They tell people it can take 24 to 48 hours, but people still kind of panic because they're used to getting them right away, right? And so I saw the customer support getting stressed. I saw like the community kind of panicking. And I know everybody started withdrawing like crazy. And I was like, wow, are they going to be able to weather this? Because people can take their principal out here. And I know a lot of people were requesting withdrawals. And after the 12, or maybe it was like 16 hours, everybody got their withdrawals back. They wouldn't have done that if they were in an unstable position. So to me, at least as of February 18th, and that can change at any time, I think that they're definitely in this for the long run. And it's a strong sign that they're healthy right now, but that can change at any time. You have to understand these high risk, high yield programs. You're risking your principal. This is for passive. You're not paying with your hard work. You're not paying with anything but just having it in there and risking your capital. That's what you're risking. You shouldn't be in these if you can't handle that, if you're not willing to take responsibility for that solely on your own. If it doesn't go your way, you have to be ready for that. With that said, these are paying out really well so far. And as long as it's in a bull run, I'm counting on them to continue to. There's no guarantee that they will. But looking historically, that's been the case in most cases. And so a lot of people believe this bull run is going to run a very long time. So that's how I'm looking at it. If you're already in these, you want to work with me, you want to have my marketing input or my strategies. Maybe you don't want to do marketing, but we do strategies for how to maximize all this. And you like the candid approach, sign up at one of my links below. Again, only if you're already in one of these programs and you understand the risk, or if you were already going to join anyway from watching other videos, but you like the candid approach and you want more of this and you want more strategy from me, then feel free to join me below. And there's a link below this video where you can reach out to me on Facebook Messenger. If you want to learn about how I generated over 850 ETH in the last 3.5 months and help my team generate over 12,000 ETH in 3.5 months, duplicating a simple process that does not require putting your capital at risk like these do, so you can have the ETH and the crypto to put into programs or to invest into things. You want to learn what I did, contact me on my Facebook Messenger, the link's below this video, and say, hey, I want to hear about your non-passive approach to generating ETH, and I'll share that with you. If you join me in Cryptoware or Beaurax, because you were going to join anyway, or earn one of them already anyway, reach out to me at Messenger once you sign up into one of these at my link below. I'll show you my marketing strategies, how I attract really high quality people to me that are already understanding the risk and take personal responsibility for their decisions. and I'll share my strategies with you.